Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel, and this is my retro review for How to Train Your Dragon, which came out in 2010 from Dreamworks Animation as directed by Chris Sanders and Dean DeBlois. The movie takes place on the island of Berk, which is inhabited by Vikings that are constantly under attack by dragons. Hordes of dragons of different species, and over the years the Vikings have basically trained themselves to defend their village. Unfortunately, the leader of Berk, Stoic, voiced by Gerard Butler, has a son named Hiccup who is anything but a dragon slayer. Hiccup is considered weak, pathetic, and is looked down upon by everybody in the village. However, he truly wants to prove to his dad that he is a dragon slayer. So one night, he actually manages to hit the rarest of all dragons, a Night Fury, into the woods outside their village. And at the moment when Hiccup finds the Night Fury, pulls his knife out and tries to kill him, he just realizes he can't. So he frees the Night Fury, but the two of them end up bonding, and Hiccup soon finds out that these dragons have been completely misunderstood by everybody in the village. So we have the live-action How to Train Your Dragon coming out next weekend, which I have to admit, I have not been enthusiastic at all. In fact, I've been kind of clowning on this movie ever since it was announced, ever since we first saw the trailer, where it literally looked like a shot-for-shot recreation of the animated movie. So I thought, what's the point? However, a lot of people who have seen the movie early have said it's really good, so I will give it the benefit of the doubt when I see it. But if nothing else, this is a great excuse for me to finally review the original animated movie, because this is my second favorite Dreamworks film out there outside of Shrek 2. It's in my top 100 of favorite movies of all time at number 85, and I am actually quite embarrassed that it's taken me this long to review How to Train Your Dragon. I'm also embarrassed of where I was when this movie was coming out. Back in 2010, I didn't see every movie that came out. I was at that period of time where I was very selective on what movies I saw, and for whatever reason, How to Train Your Dragon was not a movie I saw in the theater. So I eventually saw it on DVD because so many people were singing its praises, and when that movie ended, I was angry at myself because I wish I'd seen this in theaters. And now that I've finally got the chance to rewatch the movie for this review, it is as perfect of a movie as it was back in 2010. Whenever I've talked about this movie, whether it be in my top 100 list, my best of the decade list, or when reviewing the sequels, I've always cited How to Train Your Dragon as the most mature movie that Dreamworks has made, at least when it comes to their CG animated movies, because it's been a while since I've seen Prince of Egypt. How to Train Your Dragon is very mature for the kind of movie that it is. It's got a lot of humor that you'd expect from a Dreamworks movie, but it's got a lot of really great themes to this movie. The story is very powerful, very well done, and it's got a lot of heart to it. The biggest thing that people take away from this movie in terms of the film's themes is Hiccup basically trying to find his voice and prove to himself that he's anything but a weakling. It's one of the main themes that we see in a lot of animated movies, where our main character is the underdog trying to prove themselves, but the execution for this particular movie is so well done that you don't even think, yeah, we've seen this before. And Jay Baruchel does an excellent job voicing Hiccup. His voice just screams weakling from a mile away, and I don't mean that as an insult at all, because again, as Hiccup, he works perfectly, but he's not just a pathetic weakling throughout the entire movie. He has his timid moments, sure, because he is not like his father, but we get to see Hiccup grow into his own and really earn his father's respect by the end of the film, which is another important theme to this movie as well, the father and son relationship. This movie has a really strong message about a father and son relationship, how the dad wants his son to be just like him growing up, but at the same time the son is not like his father, and then over the course of the movie, the son earns the respect of his father, and the two of them end up growing stronger together. Because there's that point in the movie when Toothless reveals himself to the entire village. Stoic is angry at Hiccup to the point where he says, "You are no son of mine," and then just leaves. But there's that small moment where he instantly regrets what he said to his son right before they head off to the main island where the dragon's lair is. And then once the kids help out the Vikings with the giant dragon at the end of the movie, Stoic tells Hiccup, "I am proud to call you my son." And sorry, it actually got me emotionally when watching this movie, and even talking about it right now, I'm about to burst out some tears because it is, it's very well done. Speaking of the kids flying in to save the Vikings from the giant dragon, that's another theme of this movie that I don't think gets talked about that often, if ever, and is actually more relevant today, is that we should look to the younger generation when it comes to leadership rather than the old guard, because the younger generation have more interesting ideas, they take more risks, and they just do things for the better and not stick with tradition. That might be a bit of a stretch, but it's something that I certainly picked up during the big climax of the film, especially when you continue the series into the sequels. All the characters in this movie are great. Besides Hiccup and Stoic, the other two characters that stand out in this film are Gobber, voiced by Craig Ferguson, who is the film's main source of comic relief, and Astrid, voiced by America Ferrera, who is basically the tough warrior girl that Hiccup has a crush on, and the two of them basically bond and become boyfriend-girlfriend by the end of the movie. All the voice actors do a really good job, and even with people like TJ Miller, who I'm not a big fan of, he's pretty good as one of the twins alongside Kristen Wiig. And Gerard Butler is an actor that I never was a fan of, but this is honestly his best role, and I don't think anybody else will argue that. He really puts his A game into voicing Stoic, and it really helps with the father and son dynamic. Another great aspect of the movie is the design of all the dragons. Every single dragon in this movie, this franchise, is inspired. They are all really cool, very unique, and what I really love is that these dragons are essentially scaly cats. When you watch Toothless, he behaves just like a cat would, to the point where his pupils widen and like shorten up depending on his emotions. And Toothless himself just has a lot of personality. A lot of the dragons in this movie definitely have more of a cartoonish personality, like the really fat one with the fast-moving wings. And some of them, like Stormfly, Astrid's dragon, just have this blank expression, but still a lot of personality. The flying sequences are also incredible. The animation in this movie is just flat out gorgeous, but those flying sequences, it makes me so mad I didn't see this in a theater, and it makes me mad that I didn't see it in 3D, because this movie came out 3 months after James Cameron's Avatar, and if you remember how spectacular the flying sequences were in that movie, this is that times 5. Like, the flying sequences are well choreographed, they're aerodynamic, they're tense, and are just beautifully made. Whether it's during an action scene or in the sequence when Toothless and Hiccup take Astrid on a ride through like the coastline, through the skies, where it basically is the Superman flying sequence with Lois in the original movie. Yeah? And speaking of that sequence, I would not be doing this movie a favor if I didn't talk about John Powell's score, which is iconic. The How to Train Your Dragon score is very bombastic, it's beautiful, it got nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Score, it is that good, and I think it's the only DreamWorks score outside of the Shrek movies that really sticks in your head. There is nothing that is wrong with How to Train Your Dragon. It is, in every sense of the word, a perfect movie. The characters are great, the dragon designs are fantastic, the action's exciting, it has a lot going for it in terms of its themes, the relationships between characters, and the end of the movie when Hiccup becomes an amputee and loses his leg. That's something I didn't see coming a mile away. Considering the usual state of CG animated movies in America, especially when it comes to Disney, Pixar, and DreamWorks, I never expected the main character of the film to make it to the end with a missing leg. That caught me off guard completely, and I think it's incredibly bold. I could continue gushing over this movie for another 10 minutes, but I gotta wrap this up and tell you guys to get off your ass and go see it right now. If for whatever reason you've not seen How to Train Your Dragon, you need to do yourself a favor and watch it right now, because it is a perfect animated movie, just a perfect movie in general. Like I said, it is my second favorite DreamWorks animated movie outside of Shrek 2, and it is better than The Wild Robot. Having rewatched this movie recently, I like it more than The Wild Robot, which is third, but yeah, How to Train Your Dragon is just an excellent movie on all accounts. And there you go, that's my review for How to Train Your Dragon. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, of course, from this point on, we had the two sequels, How to Train Your Dragon 2 and The Hidden World, which I've already reviewed on this channel. Both movies are great and make up the second best trilogy of animated movies outside of Toy Story. There's also Isle of Berk, which just opened at Universal's Epic Universe in Orlando. It looks incredible. I can't wait to go to it myself. When, I don't know, but I will certainly let you guys know and make a full-blown video about Epic Universe on my other YouTube channel. But as of right now, we are just over a week away from the live-action How to Train Your Dragon, which, if there's one good thing I could say going into it, it's that since I missed my chance to watch the original in theaters, maybe this will fill that void, but I don't know. I still feel like this is a pointless remake outside of money. We'll see what happens. I could be dead wrong, and I could have just been dragging this movie through the dirt over nothing. We'll see what happens, but until then, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I want to give a special thank you to my subscribers and YouTube members right over here. You guys are the reason why this channel continues to grow every day, and if you want to help to financially support the channel, you could do so via YouTube memberships for as little as $1.99 a month. But until next time, I want to know what you guys think about How to Train Your Dragon. Whatever your opinions are, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. If you want to find me elsewhere on the internet, you can find me on these social media platforms and my theme park and travel channel right here on YouTube. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.